seemed like the perfect opportunity to make a video about belt welding, because I found a belt that's just about ready to split. It's literally hanging on by a thread. I don't know if that's gonna show up on camera, but it's there. So we're gonna cut that little thread off, and it's gonna go boing. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut on either side of that brake, so I've got some fresh material to weld. Let's bring in our belt jig. We'll have to fish that other side back up a little bit. This should keep it from boinging out on that side. Just trim it back about 1/8 of an inch, 3 or 4 millimeters if we're being metric today. Join the other end of the belt and the belt jig. Get them locked in. Well, I don't know if my elbow's in the way or not. You can see right now, I'm hoping that you can see a little bit. We're not exactly lined up. Our left side's a little higher than the right side. So we're going to tighten our left side down a little bit until we line up. That looks pretty good. Alright, we need to open our gap up a little bit so we can bring our belt welding tool in. I say belt welding tool, but pretty much a soldering iron. I've given it a few minutes off camera to warm up, so normally you want to wait maybe 5 or 10 minutes for this thing to get nice and toasty. So really what we're doing is we're just melting the surface of these belts, and then we're going to stuff them together, let it cool, trim down the weld bead, so to speak, and then we'll wrap them back on the pulleys. That looks pretty good. This could have heated up a little bit more, but it's working. Alright, stick them together. We don't want to go tight on that. The goal is not tight. If you go too tight, you're going to squish out all your molten urethane. You want to have a little bit of light pressure on it, but nothing crazy. It'll be a few minutes for that to cool off. I think Brunswick spec recommends 10 to 15 minutes. I don't typically wait that long. I'm usually more like in the 5 to 6 minute range. So we'll come back in when this is cooled off and we'll take it from there. While we're waiting for this to cool off, I thought I would get in here and get you a good close-up of what the weld bead looks like, kind of what you're aiming to see when you join the two pieces together. An appropriate amount of time has passed. The weld has cooled down. Let's go ahead and take our belt jig off. Come on. The threads are getting a little stiff on that one screw thread. Brunswick makes a special belt welding tool. We'll go ahead and use that today. I've seen a lot of other creative belt trimming tools. That looks good. Next step is going to be getting the belt back on. Let me go a little wider here. Let's start with the front pulley, and then we'll work it onto the back pulley. One of the tools Brunswick has in their kit is called a spud wrench. You can use the stabby end of that wrench to help guide your belt on, or you can try and muscle it in by hand. Everybody's got kind of their own method. I like to put the pointy end in the pulley groove and then walk the belt on. Easier said than done because I can't really see what I'm doing. I've got the shark horn in the way here. We're most of the way on. Alright, bottom's on. Let's see if we can extract our stabby spud wrench here. There we go. Alright. Belt's on. That's all good. Looks nice. We're done. The belt welding process, while I'm thinking about it, it's going to be the same process for every belt. Unfortunately, the distributor lanes, because the belt is so much longer, there's a lot of stretch on them. There's a separate tool for that called a belt stretcher. We won't dig into that on this one. We're just doing a simple shark belt here, get their lane up and running, so that we have that available. I'd hate for this thing to get given out and then have to have downtime later. So it was good that we found it now. Easy peasy. The next time the need arises, maybe we'll do a long belt, but that's going to be it for this one.